Hey everyone, welcome back to SJGames Live. I'm Hunter and I'm here with Steve himself. A very special episode, I'd say. We get to unbox something that's not out yet. This is a very early look at Munchkin Batman, or Steve Jackson's Munchkin Presents Batman, excuse me. We are taking a little bit of an unboxing of this. We've got some cards that Steve has picked out that he wants to show off. We're going to show off a few other things like the board, the dice, things of that nature. Before we did that, though, we have something special here that Steve wanted to show you guys.
Okay, yes, let's cut to the dice. There we go. By frothing popular demand, we're coming back with more of the giant-sized dice. That's the scale. They're just barely big enough to handle. And these are on the boat now and will be available soon. It's a 10-sided die that you can use for a Munchkin level counter or for self-defense.
Yes, they're hefty. You can kind of hear that as they hit the table. And these are also available via the Indiegogo that we have happening right now for FNORDCon swag bags. So we know not everyone's going to be able to make it to FNORDCon in April and May, April 29th, May 1st. Those pre-registrations are open now. But if you can't make it, you want to check out our swag bag, you want to get some of these awesome, gigantic dice, just so you guys can see, they're pretty big. They are large. You can check that out on the Indiegogo now. That is ending next week, so these are only available on there for now. And then when they get here, we'll have some up on Warehouse 23, I'm sure. But yes, let me move these and get to the main course here. We've got Steve Jackson's Munchkin Presents Batman. This is a big one for us. This is a very big game for us. We're really excited about this. It's coming to Kickstarter later this month. You may have seen the link on social media. If not, it'll be in the comments below on this live stream. You can actually follow the campaign right now and get a notification when we go live. And we're going to actually give you a sneak peek of what's in here. This is a pre-production copy, not a final copy, so things might change. Don't want to, just in case something.
I don't think they're going to change.
Don't think they're going to. Hopefully they don't change. If they do, that's an issue. But just in case,
it's going to be about Hello Kitty when it really comes out.
There it is.
No.
That is. So we've got it's a deluxe size box. If you've played Munchkin before, kind of like the bigger box, so it comes with the board. The Kickstarter edition is going to have some other stuff as well. We're not going to show all the stuff off. We don't want to give away all the secrets yet. You'll see a lot more when the campaign actually launches, but we wanted to show you kind of what's in the box itself. So you've got your box, and we can go to the overhead if we'd like here, just to show off. We've got the standees, and I'll show those on the close-up here.
Now, something important about the standees. You see that each one of these has a Batman villain.
Yes.
That is who you are playing in the game. You are not Batman. Batman is a force of nature that will come to mess you up as you commit crimes.
Exactly. So you get to play, and there's 8 different characters, and these are like the iconic characters. I'll actually throw these on the close-up cam over here so people can see the standees a little bit closer. You've got Catwoman, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze, my personal favorite, Mr. Freeze. You've got Riddler, Joker, Penguin, and Two-Face. But don't worry, we'll get to it in a sec. Those are not the only villains in this game. There are a lot of villains. And actually, we've got some character cards here as well. You'll notice these are a little bit bigger than your normal Munchkin cards. We'll show these in the close-up as well. We'll kind of give you a little look-see through some of these.
And as you notice, this is John Kovalic illustration.
Yes.
He was just as excited about this as I was. We get to do Batman!
Yes, he's actually on social media. He says, I'm an official Batman artist now. And
well, he is.
Yeah, he gets to say
he
that
is,
now.
and his take on some of these characters is great. I love his Harley Quinn.
Yes, his Harley Quinn
in particular
is wonderful. And I know it's a small design thing, but the Two-Face's card having 2 different colors on it's always fun to me. Poison Ivy, and here's the Harley. I love that Harley. That's great. It's a really good look. Of course, Mr. Freeze. Everyone loves Mr. Freeze. And then we got Two-Face. Whoops. Oh no, Two-Face, you get to stand up too, I promise. There he is.
It's 2 feet.
Yep, and you have different powers on each of the characters, so you have a little bit of variability to what you are from the beginning of the game, which is a really cool addition, I think. And there's 8 characters, usually it's a 3 to 6 player game, so you get some options. You won't necessarily see the same villains every single game, which is a really cool thing here. we've got the rule sheet. Obviously, I'm not going to flip through all of it, but just so you guys know, there are rules to this game. We've got it. Don't worry, we've got you covered. There is also a really sweet board here, which I'll slide this to the side for just a moment. I want you guys to see this board. Let's go to the overhead, Brandon. Okay, whoops, I pulled it too far back. Let me pull this here. There we go. Oh yeah, I love this little skyline that John has done here. You got the bat signals level 10, and similar, even though you are playing as villains in the game, it is kick down the door, commit the crime, which we'll go through that in a moment, get to level 10 and win. So,
Yes.
like Munchkin, you are still playing a Munchkin game here, and like other Munchkins, you can mix other stuff with this Munchkin if you want. But
it gets really odd when you
does.
mix it with others. But if you want to commit a public nuisance while fighting the plutonium dragon, you so can.
Yes, exactly. I'll just slide that there. And we're not going to go through every single card. We have selected a few that we wanted to show you guys. But I will show you kind of the stacks here.
This set has a lot more cards in it than a normal
Yes.
deluxe set.
Yes, if you've seen us unbox some of the previous sets, there's a good amount of cards in a regular Munchkin set. Oh, there's over 150 cards in a set.
168
168.
in a normal set.
Which is a lot, and that gives you a lot of variability. The reason we're not doing that this time, look at this. This is one stack. It's over 250 cards in this set. It is enormous. It's kind of like having an expansion built into the game to start.
It is exactly like having an expansion built in.
Odd how that is.
Funny how that works out.
And I did want to show this off before we got to the individual cards here. I'm actually going to slide these back in the box so they're not cluttering up the table too much. But here's our custom die for this set. If you want to go to the overhead here, yeah, we can get a little better shot at that. So it's
colors.
Perfect bat colors. You got the kind of like darker navy-ish blue with that kind of gold and yellow. I love it. It's absolutely perfect for this game. And
let's talk about cards.
Yes.
So you start off at the beginning of the game, picking or randomly being given a villain card.
So let's say you're Two-Face here.
Okay. Can we show that,
Absolutely.
or do we need to put them over there? Okay.
Yeah, we'll put them over here.
Okay. So then, during the game, like you can acquire races and classes in regular Munchkin, you can get motivations that give you more powers.
So there's a few different motivations you can be here, such as being a nemesis.
That's you hate Batman.
Oops, getting a little glare. Sorry, guys.
Prankster, you're a smartass in a costume. Or, my personal favorite, greedy.
There you go.
Give me the monies.
I want the money.
And you can get gadgets. And I'll just show you a few good gadgets.
Oh yeah, this is my favorite. You know me with Mr. Freeze. We got cryogenic armor. Love that. I think I know who this goes with. Pet Plant.
Mm-hmm.
We've got. Oh, I love this. The way this looks. Glue Shoes. This reminds me a lot of the old TV series where you'd be walking up and a random guest star would come out of a window. Oh, we got another one. Ice Cuber. That's my man. This one's interesting. The fake police ID.
That we'll see what that's good for in a minute.
Yes, make note of that police keyword there. And the flaming marshmallow flinger.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Oh man.
Because of course that is how we defeat Batman, is with impossible gadgets. And we also defeat Batman with the help of our crazy friends. You can have accomplices.
And this is what I mentioned before. We don't have all the villains as playable characters, but they are available in the game. Can we go to the close-up shot on the side there, Brandon? There we go. Bane, my favorite villain, aside from Mr. Freeze. We've got Killer Moth. And these function similar to hirelings in the regular game, but they're called accomplices in this, and there'll be some keywords and things like that. So
Yes.
Killer Moth, one of the funniest ones. Glad he made it into the game. And Man Bat, who's got quite the chest on him there.
Okay, so what you do in this game is try to reach level 10. To do that, you commit crimes, and the crimes range from trivial and silly to huge and silly. So I'm going to put these kind of in the order They're in, and you can show them off.
Sure, yeah. We'll
Starting with give incorrect change.
It's one of my favorite funny trivial crimes there, I'd say. And they are difficulty level, which essentially in the case of this game is like the
Yes,
level
exactly. It's pretty easy to give incorrect change.
Yes.
They get harder.
Commit a public nuisance. The Riddler is gone off and gotten himself a one-man band situation going on here. And the formatting, if you've played Munchkin before, it's very similar, except just replace level with difficulty. You got the treasures down there. We got evade the city tax. I would assume that is a Penguin specialty. We've got rob a museum. That's we're getting into the more difficult stuff, which makes sense. A little bit harder than giving incorrect change. And expose the Batcave, one of the harder ones in the game, which would make sense. You don't want, it's very not very many villains have exposed the Batcave.
Right. And so let's say I'm doing one of those crimes. The first thing that I might want to do would be to level up, because of course we have go up a level cards.
We've got a lot of go up a level cards in this set.
There we got our close shot. Good. And then if I do that, Hunter starts playing stuff on me. Yes. The worst thing that can happen is Batman and Robin would show up.
Yes, and like Steve mentioned before, Batman and Robin are kind of like forces against you in this game. You're obviously playing as a villain, and teaming them up is really strong. A +10, I'd say, in Munchkin's one of the toughest things to have to deal with.
They also have individual cards. Yes. You can't get Batman against you twice. That doesn't happen. But you could have Robin by himself or Batman by himself. Ooh. They also get help from Gotham's Finest. There are a number of cards with the keyword police. There are a couple of them.
I love this art, the canine corpse.
The art in the next one is one of my favorites.
Ah, the SWAT team. There's a classic Munchkin.
Because, yes, what would Munchkin Gotham City SWAT team be equipped with?
Exactly. Giant. Yeah. That's perfect for Killer Moth, I'd say.
Yeah, that would work. But then I might play that and make the police go away.
Play during any crime, and it affects that police keyword. And that's where we're saying make sure to keep an eye on that police keyword. I love stuff like that from other editions of Munchkin. There's always some kind of a keyworded thing that may affect like undead, things of that nature. And this is kind of this set's keyworded like thing that you can have a lot of cards to affect it.
And since it's a Munchkin game, we have curses. They are bad things that can happen to you. There's a couple. So I
lose a small item. Looks like Two-Face not too happy about that. Oh, this is awesome. It's got Killer Moth in it. Lose an accomplice. They caught Killer Moth. No. Oh no.
And eventually I either commit my crime or I don't, and I get treasures, go up a level, or don't. And we go around until somebody hits level 10.
Yep, there you
go.
And
it's still Munchkin, but it's Munchkin with Batman all the way through. Of all of the licenses that I could have gotten, I can't think of one that I would want more than Batman. We've worked for years on this, and I really, really want you to like it, okay?
I think it's safe to say if you're a fan of Batman, you're going to enjoy this. I personally am a really big Batman fan. I'm really excited about the movie coming out in about a month. I've been a big fan of Batman pretty much since the '89 Batman movie. I was born in the late '80s, so I'm more of a '90s kid. So I've watched all the Batman stuff. I've read a lot of Batman comics. It's just one of my favorite properties. And going through this, it was like, okay, I get the vibe. It feels very much like one of the it's a mix between modern Batman stuff and sensibilities, but also that kind of fun 60s Batman where everything's funny in a jokey kind of the way, because the crimes are especially they give incorrect change and things like that.
It has to be silly because it's Munchkin.
Absolutely.
There are a lot of Batman games out there, and most of them are serious because they're Batman. Okay, cool. This is different. This is the one where you put on your Riddler hat and get strange.
Yes, this is a lot. It's a blast. Like I mentioned before, there's a ton of bad guys. If you're a fan of Batman lore and interesting stuff, there's a lot more than what we've shown here. Again, we don't want to give it all up right now, but
don't have time.
Don't have time to go through all of it right now. But there's a lot of if you're a Batman fan, there's a lot of Batman in this box. So again, over 250 cards. It's a humongous set. There's a lot to explore, and there's some extra stuff that will be coming out with the Kickstarter campaign that you haven't seen yet, but promise it'll be a lot of fun stuff. If you're a fan of Batman, if you're a fan of Munchkin, this is a pretty much can't miss set. I think this is really.
Have we given them the link to find the landing
Yes,
page?
they should be in the comments below if you want to check that out. Please
It's
click.
already in the chat.
Absolutely, click notify me on that. You'll get an alert when we go live. It's going to be the end of this month. Within the last week of the month, we'll be launching that Kickstarter. You can check that out. And if there's any questions in chat, we can definitely take a few things here. If there's any anyone commenting or questioning, just in case anyone had any specific issues or questions about the campaign, we can answer those as well. And again, I wanted to mention the Indiegogo right now for those dice we showed earlier, also going on until next week. That is over pretty soon if you're interested in those.
Frequently asked question number 1. I'll just ask it now because this is the one we always get. Is there going to be international support in this Kickstarter?
There is an international shipping tier. It'll have the details about where we're shipping and things like that. But we actually do have the option to ship international for this, which isn't always the case. So we're really excited about that. We have gotten that question on social media, so thank you for asking that, Steve.
Are there other frequently asked questions already that we should ask each other just to save
That's
people
fair.
typing?
Not a ton of crazy questions that I've been getting on this. I think the most thing was like how many cards are in the set, things like that. So over 250 cards. It is a deluxe style set. I think people assumed it from the box size, but yeah, it's very similar to that.
It's a deluxe.
It's a deluxe. Like this is as deluxe as it gets with this type of a set. But yeah, it is a deluxe size 250 plus card set. It's very large. It's got a lot of some extra stuff that we're again not showed off, but there is some stuff that is included with the Kickstarter edition. There will also be add-ons for other Munchkin games, things like that have recently come out, like Munchkin Russia, Babies, and things of that nature. But a lot of the stuff this extra bonus, interesting stuff that I've been talking about, is actually just going to come with the Kickstarter edition. So if you're getting the Kickstarter edition of this game, you're going to be getting a lot of extra
You'll
cool
get
bonuses.
the stuff.
You're getting the stuff.
Are we seeing any questions?
Well, that answers one of them. There was were there any Kickstarter exclusives, and the answer
They're
is
not Kickstarter exclusives. I don't want to say it's Kickstarter exclusives. It is Kickstarter editions of stuff. You're going to be getting extra stuff with it. That stuff may be released elsewhere for, it'll cost more potentially.
but it comes in that box.
It's going to come. It's going to come in your tier.
It'll be Kickstarter better deals.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
But we're not. There's nothing specifically that's like you're only going to get it through the Kickstarter. It's just it may not be available at retail. It may only be at Rarehouse 23, stuff like that.
We also had someone ask if you mix this with Munchkin Bites, are there synergies between Batman and the Bat cards?
That would be a no.
That sounds like House
Rule City.
Yeah, there you go. Bat. I didn't even think about that. I thought they were going to ask a different combination. I thought they were going to go with Super.
Paul says he's not trying to sell anybody on a conspiracy theory here. Like Rails 23. But have you actually seen Steve Jackson and Batman together?
Ooh. Uh-oh. We're not in the same room, not at the same time. That's tough, yeah.
The same room at different times. Different rooms at the same time.
It was weird. Steve walked out, and then Batman walked in. I didn't know what was going on.
And he's much taller and has a cape. So it couldn't possibly be me.
He took his glasses
It's like
off.
the guy with Clark with glasses, yeah.
Yeah. It's Clark Kent with glasses. There you go. Oh, man.
Well, those are... that would be a good Munchkin item. The glasses of complete disguise.
There we go.
You put them on, and now nobody
In the next Super Munchkin set.
can recognize you.
There it
Yeah.
is. Or we get the Superman. We'll see. We'll talk.
Okay.
Awesome. Well,
Does that cover the waterfront?
I think that is anything else, Jimmy, popping up in chat?
That's what we got so far.
I
A lot
think
of people, a lot of fans who've been seeing Steve stuff for a long time want them to know they appreciate it. There are people looking forward to this
Thank
set
you.
particularly. They're like, must get this one. Can't wait to
Awesome.
play it.
That's what we were hoping for. Like this one, like Steve mentioned, it's something that's been being worked on for a very long time. This has been one of the I think the longest dev periods I've seen for one of our Munchkin games, and
It was a long dev
very
period.
very long periods. A lot of love went into this game, and
I got to work with a lot of my favorite characters. I got to work with John.
yes, John getting to work on this. The fact that everyone that's so involved in Munchkin got to kind of work on, I'd say, what would amount to a dream project for a lot of people, and then we're actually getting to finally put it out. And I'm
Yes.
just very excited.
That would be the best part.
So we're finally getting to show it to people. Like, this has been very hard to keep a secret. As someone who's usually given things to not keep a secret, having to keep this thing a secret for years now has been very difficult. So I'm so glad to be able to finally talk about it. You guys are going to be in for a treat when this comes out, but we've also got some more stuff leading up to the campaign. Next week, we'll actually be having an interview with John, who was so gracious to lend his time as well, where I get to ask him, how's it like drawing Batman, and he'll, for an hour, get to answer why that's fun. So I'm excited to hear about it.
He had more fun with Catwoman, I'll tell you.
Well, I'm excited. There's so much stuff coming up, guys, and this is just the beginning. We're very excited for this project. Keep an eye out for it. Click notify me on the campaign to make sure you get an alert when we go live. And yeah, I think unless Steve, you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, thank you for coming.
Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time on SJ Games Live.